Everyone, it's Chrissy from Everyday Survival Gear, and today I'll bring you the Nitecore HC30. Alright guys, I was kind of tossing up what format to do, whether I should stand in front of the camera or whether the light itself should just be in front of the camera. Because I'm just going to run over some specs first, I might as well just stand in front of the camera and then we'll take it apart and whatnot. I've got my sheet here. Let's see how it goes. So as I've already said, Nitecore HC30. So it's got some of the same technology what they used last time. Man, these flies, eh? It's got some of the same technology what they used on the last model, which I've already done a review on, the Nitecore HC50. Also the bigger brother, the HC90. Pretty much precision digital optics, which is just the reflector type that they're using. They gave it their own name. It does kind of like soften the beam and make it more even. I always use my HC50 when I'm fishing, and it is incredibly floody. I don't have any other lights that compare anywhere next to how floody that light is. Man, these flies. So pretty much this goes down into the next annotation that I wrote. Wide angle beam optics. So the beam of this light that comes out of the lens is at 100 degrees. So there's pretty much not a lot of lights, even though I'm repeating myself, there's not a lot of lights that have that option where you get such a wide beam. So that pretty much works out very well, because the whole point of having on a headlamp is that you need your hands. So you could be reaching over here with your hands, over there, obviously, and you need that little bit of extra width in your light. 90-degree rotate up and down. So like so. It actually does the whole way around. I don't know why they only said 90, but pretty much like that's probably the most usable way. So up and down. So it rotates in the actual harness itself. A lot of people say they don't like that. I personally prefer that, because if that breaks, it's going to be a lot easier just to replace this harness than it's going to be to replace the missing part from the back of the other headlamp. So that's personal preference there, which one you like. So it's CNC machined with a unibody head with cooling fins. Now I've got to take it off. The cooling fins are at the back. You can see them there. See that? Yeah, that's sweet. So they're the cooling fins there. It's also got another cooling technology called advanced temperature regulation, which keeps the temperature below 55 degrees. They had this on the last headlamps, and they use it now in a lot of their torches and flashlights anyway. So pretty much all it is a thermal step down. Once the torch reaches around 55 degrees Celsius, if it's at 1000 lumens, they'll step it down. If it's at 400 lumens, they'll step it down even further to a lower level, so the light cools down. Alright, next one is one-handed use using pressure switch. Obviously it's a headlamp. I should actually add that into while I'm blinding you guys. It's got instant turbo. Just push and hold, and then turbo goes on. So one-handed operation, like so, and you can just go through modes, which is pretty important in a headlamp, because you don't want to have one switch here and one switch here that you have to press at the same time, because that might start to become hard when I have my fishing rod in my hand and my coffee, as I do. Alright, so reverse polarity protection. That's pretty much basic now on most lights. Still a good feature, just in case you do put the 18650 or the CR123s in the wrong way around. You don't want any damage to happen to the light or to your head. So that's a good feature to have on a headlamp. So the light itself runs on either one 18650 or two CR123s. On Nitecore's website, it doesn't state whether you can run it on 16340s. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to, but I think CR123s are a little bit shorter. Obviously the 16340s, they don't have as much capacity as the CR123s, but they're rechargeable. But for you folks in America or overseas, where you can go to shops and pick up CR123s anytime, that's pretty sweet. Here in Australia, we don't have that option. Sorry guys, just a lot of flies. We don't have that option to go down and buy CR123s. So pretty much whichever way, we've got to use the rechargeables anyway. Is IPX8 water rated. So it's 2 meters water resistant and 2 meters submergible, which is actually a pretty big step, because not a lot of lights come IPX8 that's actually recommended to 2 meters submergible. So that's good. 1.5 meter impact resistant. That's pretty standard nowadays on most lights. 162 meter beam distance. So we're talking about the furthest that you'll ever get this beam is pretty much about 162 meters. It's not made to go far, as I said at the beginning of the video. There's no need for you to have a headlamp that really goes far. There are headlamp options out there if you would like that, but that's personal preference. 66,000 CD peak beam intensity. That's just the rating of the beam. It doesn't say where they measured it. I'm pretty sure that there's an NT rating for that. It's got to be like a meter away or something. Yeah, that one not a lot of people will need to know. Alright guys, now we're going to get into the runtimes and on what batteries and for how long it runs. So pretty much on 1000 lumen setting, which is turbo mode, 118/650, you're going to get about 1 hour straight. The CR123s, the primaries, 45 minutes. Mind you, this test is done with I wrote it down here, 3400 milliamp hour 18650. So in mine, I'm only running 3100 milliamps, so I'm not going to get that whole 1 hour. I'm going to lose a little bit of time. I don't know how many people out there are already running 3400 milliamps. I asked the question on Budget Light Forum. It seems like a lot of people already do use them anyway, so it shouldn't be such a big problem. And Nitecore themselves, they've already got their own version of the 3400 milliamp hour batteries anyway. So yeah, I don't personally have one, but a lot of people might. And the CR123s are their brand, 1700 milliamp hours. I don't know how many CR123s. My 16340s are only about 800 milliamps. So once again, I'm going to lose running time. But the step down is massive from turbo to high mode. The high mode is 400 lumens, 3 hours and 30 minutes with the 18650, and 2 hours and 30 minutes with the CR123. Then you pretty much got, I guess it's a medium mode, 210 lumens, 7 hours and 15 minutes with the 18650, or the CR123 is 4 hours and 30 minutes. So you can see you're already losing a little bit of gap here between the CR123 and the 18650. 70 lumens is low mode, 15 hours and 15 minutes with the 18650, and the CR123 10 hours and 15 minutes. 1 lumen, which is moonlight mode, which is good because not a lot of headlamps actually come with a proper moonlight mode. 330 hours with the 18650, or CR123 150 hours. Alright guys, the user interface on this headlamp is like amazing. It's so easy to use. It's a lot easier than the HC30, but then it doesn't have the other technologies that the HC30 has with the red and whatnot. So pretty much it's a pressure switch. I'll just show you the basics. If you click and then hold, that's direct access to turbo mode, and then you hold it again to turn off. Or if you only want to turn on to your normal mode with memory function, you click and hold, and obviously that's on turbo because that's what I had on last time. But then you can cycle through moonlight, low, medium, high, turbo, and then you click and hold to turn off. And then to get into your free hiddens, strobe, and this strobe is bad, like seriously. I've never seen a strobe that's this fast. They must have amped it up because this strobe is like crazy. You got strobe, SOS, then a beacon. It's a double click. So that's how fast that strobe is. That's the SOS, and that's the beacon. It has a whole bunch of spare stuff in there. The tail cap, the O-rings, and it also comes with a clip if you want to wear it on your belt. I'll show you the clip in a second. I'll just run through everything else. That's it. The holder for the flashlight itself, and also the Nitecore manual, which my one isn't in English like at all. It's got a couple of specs here and there. It's mainly numbers. My one is like one of the first editions, so hopefully the ones that they send to Australia are a lot better. See, it doesn't even show you the modes. So it shows you the modes, but not in what, like which ones. Oh, here we go. We can use the RCR123s. Well, that confirms that. So that's that. And standard Nitecore warranty card. Always a standard 5-year warranty on these Nitecore lights. Usually pretty good lights, but it has the 5-year warranty. Well, that was awkward. I just ran out of space on my camera. Okay, so I'm basically just going to take it apart now. This is the holder itself. I really like these. They're probably not everyone's cup of tea, but I really like the fact that you got a head strap too that goes over the top of your head, because if one of these straps does come apart, it's still pretty much going to stay on your head, which makes it better, I guess. Not everyone likes them, but I'm a big fan of them myself. Personal preference. So I'll take it apart now. So as you can see, it's for the LED itself. It's got the Cree XML L2. The camera isn't focusing the best. The precision optics that it comes with is just that lens inside there. So standard Nitecore, you can see the quality there. It's all good quality. It's all gold plated too, so you're going to get like a lot of good connectivity out of it. So we'll screw it back together. Both parts come undone. You can see the O-rings there, you can see the threads. Everything is all in place, sorry. You can see it there, the O-ring and the threads. Everything looks pretty good to me. So we'll screw that side back in and I'll show you the back end. So the back end has a little spring, not the most high-tech thing, but basic, but it does the job. So the whole light itself only weighs 1.49 ounces. I'm not sure what that is in kilos or grams. I'll have to look that up later, and I'll put an annotation there. So it's got the little heat fins at the back here to dissipate heat. The switch is here. And that's pretty much all what there is to see on this light. Basic, but sometimes basic is better. It's better for longevity. It's obviously going to keep the weight down and whatnot. So as I was saying before, it comes with the spare tail cap and O-ring and whatnot. All Nitecore lights come with that stuff now. These flies are so bad. Now this clip is a stainless steel clip. It can fit on, I guess, either side. And then you can pocket it and carry it on your pants. If you don't want to use it as a headlamp, you just want to use it as a torch, which is a great idea. The clip is of high quality. I'll show you me wearing it in a second. Okay guys, so that's the clip there. You can put it on both sides, I guess. It's so tight. Without breaking it, Chris, without breaking it, please. Edit the video out. This part has to go out, but it'll go inside bloopers. Alright, there we go, it's off. Still in one piece. And I'll put it on the back end, so you can carry it either way. I'll stand back a little bit. Can you guys see that? There we go. So obviously you probably wouldn't be wearing it here on your shirt, but in your pocket or whatnot, the clip, even this shirt's really thin, and the clip is still clipping on like pretty well. You'd be better off to go something like of this thickness, obviously, and it does that job like so. Probably the first headlamp that I've ever seen that comes with the clip. Also, one more thing is that this headlamp is also, you can tail stand it, which I probably can't do with my hand. I should probably show you this on a better surface than my hand. Let's see if I can do it. Nah. Alright, I'll move back over to where I was just. Alright guys, I'm just going to tail stand it for you, and there we go. Perfect. It sits down perfect. Not a lot of headlamps can do that. Alright, now the nitty gritty. I don't usually do this part, but I figured seeing I've already got my HC50, here it is, and I'm wearing the HC30, let's talk numbers. I should also say I purchased this from GearBest, and I'll leave the link in the description if you'd also like to purchase one. US, you're looking about, I don't know now, $60, maybe $70, somewhere around there. It's actually a very good deal. Like for that price you can't go past it, because a lot of other headlamps you're going to be paying more and you're not going to get the same amount of brightness. Alright guys, so here's the tricky part now, is that this headlamp is a lot cheaper than what the HC50 was when it first came out, but then it's missing features what the HC50 has also. but this is smaller, lighter, and a lot brighter. So on high mode, the highest mode, the HC30 is only supposed to be top 500 lumens. A little bit above that, 500 to 600 lumens. There have been tests done which people said it was reaching about 750 lumens, but then it steps down. So they done the ANSI test and it got around about 5 something, high 5. This is 1000 ANSI lumens. It's lighter, it's smaller. So here is the HC50 here. I just looked, these are not interchangeable between these two straps. So they look the same, but this ring here is way too big. So pretty much, I like the HC50. The user interface is a bit confusing. So basically the HC50, it's got the extra features of the battery checker that's built into the tail cap where it lights up, and the red lights. Which is optional extras. It's also a lot heavier and a lot thicker, which means it is going to have better cooling. But in the end, there is a price premium difference between these two, and you are getting the extra brightness with this light. Okay guys, there's only one part of the video left. That's pretty much to take this outside when it was a little bit darker and compare it to a couple of other lights. I'll give it about 2 hours and then we'll come back outside. We'll compare it to the Nitecore HC30. And we'll throw in a flashlight around the same brightness that's more zoomy, and that's pretty much it. I had to edit out a couple of parts because this video is going to be like 20 minutes long. Alright guys, let's get stuck into it. Alright guys, now we're outside. It's a bit windy, sorry about the wind. Yeah, so I've got the Nitecore HC30 right now on Ultra, which is about 1000 lumens. You can see it lights up my backyard more than easy. That's like great, the job that it does. You can tilt it up a little bit. So that's the 1000 lumens there. So you can see the big difference. Let me move the camera back. The camera's actually back a little bit further than what it usually would be. So obviously both my hands are free, as just usual. It's a headlamp. Let me put it to the ground more. And you can see how good of a job it does of lighting up my backyard. Now we'll cycle through the modes a little bit. Okay, right now I've got moonlight mode on. You can only see that in my hands. Then we'll put it on low. So this is low mode. You won't be able to see very well on the camera, but let me just try and show you guys. You can see actually on the camera it's still lighting up my backyard like pretty good. Then you've got medium. Now you can see that medium does like a pretty good job. It's great. That's like more than enough light there if you ever need to only do something like in front of yourself. Now we'll go high. So high mode is already great too. So high mode is about 400 lumens. It looks a little bit brighter, maybe about 500, but around about 400 lumens. Then we'll go turbo. Now turbo is 1000 lumens. And that is turbo mode right there. The throw on this is actually, it's pretty good. It's a lot better than the HC50, the throw. I'll show you what I mean by that now, because I brought the HC50 out with me and I'll put them both on turbo modes. Alright guys, now this is the HC50 on turbo mode, the highest mode. Now let me put the HC30 on and we'll see how it compares. I'll put the HC30 on turbo also. Right now that's instant turbo there. So you can see it outshines it easily. Alright, so let me turn the camera around for you guys. So to your left, this side, which you can see me moving, is a HC50, and to the right is a HC30. Both on Ultra. Obviously the HC30, literally it is almost double the power, because you're only looking about 565 lumens on the HC30, but then it is a lot more floody. This does have that little bit of extra zoom. The HC30 does go almost twice as far, so keep that in mind. And the tints are very different colors. The HC30 tint, as you can see, it kind of looks a little bit greenish, while now Nitecore has gone with a very ultra white tint for all of their lights now. So the HC30 is a very white light. I just got one more thing to compare it to, the Nitecore EA41, and then we'll be done. Alright guys, now I've got the Nitecore HC30 on. You can see it's obviously It doesn't light up the backyard quite as evenly as the Nitecore HC30, but it still does do a really good job. It's around about the same power, a little bit less. Now I'll put the HC30 on turbo. So to your left is a Nitecore EA41 and to your right is the HC30. So you can see it's very comparable. Nitecore EA41 here and HC30 here. So you can see they're almost the same tints. The EA41 does appear a little bit wider, but that's because it's more of a thrower than a flutter. But pretty much all in all, they do seem pretty evenly powered, which they should be because they are very close, only about 40 lumens difference. So yeah guys, so all in all, I feel that the Nitecore HC30 is a very good headlamp. For the price, you really can't beat it. There's nothing out there that really compares to it for the money. So I give it a thumbs up, and as I said, I'll leave a link in the description below to purchase it from Gearbest. And guys, as always, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.